Today, I'm going to explain why exam anxiety happens, why you can find your mind going blank when you're under pressure, and what's really going on inside our brain when we do feel anxious and stressed during this exam time. I'm also going to share some simple, science-backed, powerful tools that will help you or can help your child or your student to stay calm, confident, and focused during revision and exam time. So whether you're a student, a parent, or a teacher, and you've noticed how stressful exam season can be, then this video is for you. So I'm a solution-focused psychotherapist, and I help people to manage stress and anxiety so that they can feel better and that they can do better and perform to their best when they're under that pressure of exam or any other kind of performance. So first, let's understand exam anxiety. And let's talk about why we get anxious before exams. So actually, exam anxiety is actually quite normal and really common, but sadly, it's just not particularly helpful. So a little bit of stress can actually be useful. So it helps us to stay alert. It helps us to stay focused. But too much stress can send the brain into panic mode. And that's when you find yourself going blank. It's when your heart rate increases, your palms start getting sweaty, and your mind just feels like it's forgotten everything that you revised. So we don't really want to be in that state. And let me explain what's really going on in the brain when we get anxious and when we get stressed about exams. So some basic neuroscience here, so stick with me. So we've got two main parts to the brain that play a key role here. There's the intellectual part of the brain. And when we're in this part of the brain, that's where we feel calm, where it's logical. And this is where we're great at remembering things. We can remember what we've studied. Now there's the primitive brain. Now this is the original brain that's designed to keep us safe and alive. And it goes into fight, flight, freeze response. So when our anxiety rises, this primitive brain takes over. And the intellectual brain, the one that you need to stay calm and to stay focused during exams, kind of temporarily shuts down. So that's why managing anxiety isn't about trying harder. It's about learning techniques to help you stay calm so that your brain can think clearly. So it's about staying in this intellectual part of the brain and not letting the primitive brain take over. So to explain this, let's think about a stress bucket. So I like to use this metaphor, the stress bucket metaphor. So imagine that you have a bucket inside your mind. Now, every worry, every kind of stress, pressure to perform better, it all feeds into this bucket. And if we don't have tools to help us regularly release some of that stuff in the bucket, then we find this bucket starts overflowing, and that's when we feel overwhelmed. And that's when that primitive brain is in control. So we need to learn how to empty that stress bucket, and we can do that through sleep, laughter, exercise, relaxation, positive focus. And I'm going to share some of these techniques just in a moment. So something to understand is that calmness and focus are actually trainable states. They're not personality traits. It's something that's trainable. And let me give you some tools that are going to help you to empty this stress bucket, so that then you're in this intellectual part of the brain and that stays in control. And that's where you feel calm, relaxed, focused. And that's where you can be calm during your revising and during your exams. So, yeah, let me give you some tools that are gonna help you. So one thing that you can do is using a breathing technique. This is one of my favorite techniques. You breathe in through your nose for a count of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you breathe out through your mouth for a count of 5 or more. This is basically telling your brain that you are safe, and it calms everything down. It calms your brain, it calms your body down. So breathing in for 4 and then breathing out for a count of 5 or more. You can do this before your exam, or you can do it whilst you're revising. You can do it even during your exam. It's a great way of just calming your body and your brain down and telling your body and your brain that you are safe. So therefore that intellectual part of the brain stays in control. Now, before I explain techniques 2 and 3, I wanted to explain a really powerful rule of the mind. And once you understand this can really change a lot of things. So let me explain this rule of the mind. The pictures that we make in our mind and the words that we use, whether we speak them out loud or it's that inner voice, they're very, very powerful. Your mind responds to the pictures and the words that you create. So in other words, the images that you hold in your mind and in your imagination and the dialogue that you use, especially that internal dialogue that you repeat to yourself directly, this directly influences your emotions and it influences your behaviors, which in turn control your actions and then determine your results. So this is why positive visualization is so powerful. Athletes use this all the time. Imagine yourself sitting your exam, attending your exam, feeling calm, relaxed, sitting it. So spend some time, 5-10 minutes, closing your eyes, imagining yourself. It's the day of your exam. Everything's going smoothly. You've turned up on time. You've got all you need. You perform amazingly, and keep visualizing that. Another one then, technique 3, is to actually reframe your thoughts. So be aware of that inner critic of, what if I mess up? Oh, I just can't get this. I'm rubbish at this. I know I'm going to mess this up. Flip it around. This is your time to shine. One of my favorite ones is do your best and forget the rest, especially for exams. And repeat that to yourself. You could have a little motto. You can have it. You might have heard the word affirmation. So change your words. So if you find yourself beating yourself up and using negative words, that's not helpful. Tell yourself that you're confident, that you're amazing at this particular subject. You know it. Your brain's like Google, it's there. So the next one, number 4, is to have some kind of relaxation track to listen to. I'm going to share one in the description below. You can also check out some other ones that I have. Otherwise, check out YouTube or apps like Headspace, Calm. Find a voice that you like listening to, a track that you like listening to. This helps you calm down. 5, and a really powerful one, is sleep. Sleep is so powerful. When we have good quality sleep, that's when we'll wake up in the morning and our intellectual brain is in control. And that's when we wake up and we feel calm, we feel relaxed, we feel positive. We're able to make more rational judgments of situations. But when we have poor quality sleep, that's when our primitive brain is in control. So then we're more likely to see everything negatively. We're more likely to fill up this stress bucket. We're more likely to feel stressed and anxious. So sleep is really key. Now, I know when it comes to revision, there can be a temptation to forfeit sleep, but don't. Get that balance between study and relaxation and sleep. Number 6, positive thinking and positive thought. So just like I said, the words that you use, the pictures you make in your mind, they control your actions. But also, if you have more positive thoughts, they release the happy chemicals and reduce the brain chemicals like adrenaline and cortisol. So they're the ones that get released when you're stressed. So a good question to ask yourself is, what's been good? And these don't have to be great, big, massive things. I ask myself this question all the time, and I get my clients to do it. Think about something that's been good. One of my good things is always that first cup of tea, first thing in the morning. So they don't have to be great, big things, but our brain naturally focuses on negative things. That makes us more stressed and anxious. We need to literally retrain our brain and train our brain to focus on positive things. And they can be small things, and this helps release the more happy chemicals. So remember, your brain is really powerful, and you can start implementing these tools so that your brain starts working with you, and you can unlock your calm and therefore unlock your true potential. So pick a tool. It doesn't have to be all of them. Just pick one, give them a try, but really focus. I know especially during exam time, you really want to focus on studying and revision, but focus on implementing a technique that I've mentioned that will help calm your brain, because when your brain is more calm, you're able to focus more clearly and you're able to think more clearly, and you'll be able to perform at your best in your exam. And if you found this video helpful, then by all means, feel free to share it with anybody else that you think might benefit from it. I do have some other videos where I go into a bit more detail about what's going on inside the brain, sharing some of the science and the neuroscience, and I go into a bit more detail about some of these tools. So if you like what you've heard and you want to learn a bit more, then do check out some of those videos. Most importantly, good luck. Keep being amazing. You are amazing. You've got this. Good luck. Do your best and forget the rest.